last week I did record, but I did not share it with you yet. So I'm asking you guys, do you want that recording to be shared with you through YouTube? But the link is private.
Boleh, sir.
Okay lah.
Boleh, sir.
Hentam je lah.
Sure.
Okay. So looking at the videos that I have recorded for you, so you rasa macam mana? What is your reaction? Because this is just a continuation of last week punya area. Last week we talked about liberalism. Today we will be talking about cultural, radical, and postmodern. So can someone, but before we start discussing, can someone summarize, just to remember this group, coming back to liberal feminism? So how do you easily recognize them?
So I think liberal is more they're asking for like equal opportunity with men.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing it to cultural, radical, and postmodernism, where I think their ideology is more like they want more. It's not equal. They want more or a higher position than men. What I feel comparing it to liberal, I think liberal is it's not that it's not like too radical compared to other groups of feminism.
Okay. What about the rest? Any input? In general, feminist jurisprudence is about what? They are asking for
Equal
freedom.
equal rights,
For
freedom
women.
Right.
from the situation that they are in, right? Which is biased against the position of the situation today, which is the reality. So you have seen it from the statistic that I've already provided you. So from that, we will see that the liberal is what is your take about the liberalism? To summarize, what do you see? How do you picture liberal? This group of people.
I think they are liberal in all aspects, as in they are fighting for rights, as in their political rights and also their economic rights.
Okay, good. What picture comes into your mind? That there is a picture. What you just name me one picture that represent them.
Demonstration.
Demonstration. Okay.
Feminism demonstration.
Okay. Others?
Liberal feminism,
I think.
Yeah. Okay. What picture? What can you picture? Them. Just one picture. Not to elaborate.
Like breaking free from the stereotypes being put for women.
Okay. Breaking. Can you see someone in chain? A woman that is in chain, and they want to get away from that being chained. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. How about cultural then? Who do
Cultural,
Yeah.
Cultural, they wanted to be free from the cultural perception towards women in society.
Okay.
Macam yang
What picture that can represent them?
Perempuan kerja.
Perempuan kerja, right?
Perempuan kena masak, kena pandai masak.
Ada satu picture tu perempuan kena masak as compared to perempuan kerja.
Yes,
Perempuan
dia
yang
orang
tengah masak tu tak happy, orang yang tengah kerja sebelah dia, another picture which is beside that, kerja dengan muka happy.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Perempuan tak boleh jadi bos.
perempuan
Betul.
tak boleh jadi bos. What do you mean by that? Perempuan tak boleh jadi bos?
Dia macam high ranking lah.
Ya,
Yeah.
yang dia orang kata kalau perempuan jadi bos dia macam
Emosi.
tak
Oh,
elok.
ini picture yang sebelah kiri ya. They have a picture on the left showing that you cannot be boss. The next one, next to it is the picture of a woman becoming boss. Boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. Right. How about radical? How do you picture?
Radical dia sangat vokal untuk pointing out injustice by men. Contoh gambar yang perempuan nak lepaskan diri dari shackle.
Tu bukan shackle, tapi yang on the macam this picture that I'm showing is the radical feminism on the right kan. So what is happening to her? The same picture, the same movement, she is trying to do something. The first one is on liberal, the other one is radical. Do you see
So
how?
radical is like she's attacking the man
Yes, dia memang
instead of
radical gila.
letting struggle.
Yeah. So feminist is not attacking the man, but attacking the object. Here, radical is attacking the subject.
Macam putting all the blames ke?
Yes. Putting all the blames to the man. Yes.
Bila radical feminism ni cakap dia orang nak remove male supremacy, are they fighting for a female supremacy then?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. But they realize that if they were to do that, then it's actually the other way around, right? So, because how can you ask for justice when you are asking to be superior than the male? It doesn't work, right? So basically, if majority 99% of the group is blaming the men, radical not doesn't mean that you have to be on like gangsters, but the focus of the blame is towards the men, not in a manner of rivalry in terms of attacking physically, not in that manner. So they don't hate men, but the cause is actually men. The cause of the problem is actually men.
Faham tu?
You will see some of them is actually anti-men, but the majority of them is actually putting the blame towards the men rather than asking for fight against men.
So macam they are not trying to find solution, rather than they are just trying to identify
Very
the
good.
problem in the first place.
Yes. They are not asking for solution, but they are pointing the problem. So once you remove the problem, then hopefully you will be able to find a better solution. The solution will find its way lah, because you remove, dia macam sampah dalam parit, right? The parit is okay, by right it should be able to drain the water, but something is stopping it. So the man is actually that. You just imagine the parit is being justice, equality and fairness, but the stumbling block, the main thing that is preventing that is male from the radical point of view. If you can remove that and make the men understand that they are the problem, then you should be able to remove the block. Nampak tak? So once the man is able to understand, so their goal is to jadi nak bagi men understand that you are the problem. All this while, the injustice that we suffer is because of you. It kalau you nampak picture tu on the left side is apa orang kata the liberal feminism, they are looking at the problem, so attacking the problem. Obviously, the problem is caused by the man, but they started with changing the problem. You cannot go to universities, you cannot vote, you know, so many things that they are unable to to do or be recognized of. Tapi when it comes to radical, dia kata no, let's not beat around the bush. Yeah. So the cause of the problem that we are facing is not because of some men, but because of the nature of men itself. Then on the left side, they might see it as you know cultural. It's not cultural. It's something of norm. History. So historical element is something that is making them to be in prison, right? So, but radical is very straightforward. It's all about men, irrespective when. Oops. Okay, soalan.
So, saya ada soalan pasal postmodern feminism tu.
Yes, good.
So like basically they're trying to remove they tak nak be confined to like one specific gender kan. Basically they macam everyone is the same. So macam if we are to remove label on gender, rasanya macam like can equality really be served, because like by nature obviously macam women maybe need some more help ataupun more things on certain area. So if like they are to remove gender, and everybody is given the same opportunity and everything. So like will there be an a justice in the end, and equal outcome for everyone then?
Okay. Before we go into the answer, generally postmodern ni macam mana? How do you picture it? The first one kita nampak, trying to get away from the the strings or the chain that was put around them. Cultural is more towards a mother being able to solve solution, then they are better at solving solution, solving problem. Kalau kita tengok radical is more aggressive in nature, blaming the man for all the problems that they face. Then postmodern macam mana? How do you see? How do you picture?
Postmodern, they're more to basically they wanted to remove the concept of gender because they believe everyone is the same.
Okay, right. So coming back, how far that we can? That was your question ke? Tadi siapa yang tanya? So how do they vision that the outcome if they were to remove the gender? What do you think? Whether they can or cannot? Is it possible?
Saya rasa macam kalau diorang remove this gender labels rasa takut, because like how do we ensure that actually by removing gender tags women will not be oppressed then? Maksudnya macam
I totally agree with you, because the way I see it the same juga kan. If you just remove the gender, would the discrimination persist? or is soft? Kan? Because the word
Yes, sir.
macam ni lah. Just look at your IC. Previously, your IC have race behind it, but now, if you look at your IC, there is no race. You know? There is no indication of race there. Kalau you tengok dengan the number of your IC, the middle number 01 or 0, what 00 or macam myself is 02, it's Kedah, right? So the last number, I punya 6221. 1 is male, 0 is female. Perasan tak?
Perasan.
Odd
Okay.
number is
Berbendak tu
okay.
perempuan.
Yes. Okay. Is there any indication somewhere in the IC to 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 state you ni bangsa apa?
Ada
Kat mana?
Bangsa.
dekat bawah
Bangsa.
gambar.
Bawah
Oh,
gambar?
ha.
Bawah gambar ada? Ya ke?
Ras.
Di Islam Melayu kan dia tulis.
Islam Melayu, okay, it's still there lah. It's what they are trying to do eventually is to remove kita punya, bangsa, because bangsa is something that, because we do not remove that because it is stated in the federal constitution. Tapi, but if you look at other people in countries all over the world, they try very much to eliminate that. Dan jika kita tengok Indonesia, bangsa is something they call it as bangsa Indonesia. Trying to eliminate the differences between them by removing, bangsa. Boleh nampak tak what I'm trying to say?
Boleh.
Sana tu.
Okay.
Nak elak
Kalau
Berapa
racist
cia?
macam mana?
Nak elak racist macam tak nak tunjuk.
Yes, tak nak
Beza.
tunjuk that they are beza. But does that solve problem? Say for example dekat Thailand, they don't have race. Everyone talks, in Thai because every name, irrespective whether you are Muslim or not, your name is a Thai name. I don't know whether you realize or not. Perasan tak?
Perasan.
Perasan
Perasan.
because my someone that I know of, nama dia Nick, tapi but over there her name is nama lain lah, nama Thailand, Anusasani. So being Malay in another country, they force you to have a general, what they call it, name. Why? Because they are trying to eliminate as much as possible. So coming back to postmodern, because they try very much to remove the word gender, to recognize whether there is a male and female. Obviously, it is a steps toward removing the injustice or imbalances, biasness. Tapi it will take longer lah. It will take longer because as the questioner tadi kata, does it mean that it will eliminate the problem? Doesn't mean that it's going to be fruitful, kan? As you can see, gender will always be something of something that is inside us, from the Muslim point of view is very general, or kata dah very established that we have gender of male and female. It will always be there because the physical part of our body shows that we are different. our private parts is different, the strength is different, you know, the nature like cultural way of kita punya solving problem. Kalau orang lelaki dia pemarah, dia agresif, orang perempuan dia very feminist, tak marah-marah, very tactical, very apa kata, lembut, So, do you think that they are going to be able to remove these differences by removing gender itself?
No,
No, sir. Susah, sir.
Very
tak boleh.
postmodern itulah. Dia very apa orang kata? Dia panggil approach dia very radical lah. Not radical feminism, tapi dia radical thinking. Radical thinking meaning they go outside the box and not blaming the subject or object or recognizing the nature of gender qualities. Male have certain advantage, women have also certain advantage. So please recognize us. By recognizing us, then you should be able to get more than you deserve. If you put us in, ni I'm referring to cultural kan. So kalau you put us in shackles ataupun in chain, you are the losers. Because if you are the losers, we all are losers. So that is cultural. So postmodern is something that is radical thinking. They just want to go from the status quo. They macam liberal is more towards facts, cultural is facts, radical is facts. Postmodern is not really on facts, but rather on the language. Yeah. So the words of the usage of language that we apply in our daily life is the one that causing the differences or biasness. Okay, questions? I banyak
So,
cakap, I nak tanya you. So, okay, yeah. So
for now kan sir, bila kita talk about feminism, sekarang kita apply feminism yang mana as in general lah.
oh, yang
Ke
mana
macam every
majority?
feminism, ke
Uh,
every feminism dia ikut antara empat ni suka hati dia orang.
uh, kalau from looking at the feminist punya point of view, so they choose whichever they want. Kalau you are apa kata promoter ataupun you prescribe to feminism, you akan pilih lah which one yang close to your heart. Tapi kalau generally kalau kita tengok movement dia overall in the world, you will see liberal feminism is number one. So the rest is kecil lah, a small group. So I think kalau listing tu pun I buat listing in the nature of groups. So liberal first, the yang group besar, then we have cultural which is the middle part. Kalau liberal tu kita boleh kata 80% of the movement. Kalau kita nampak the male nampak liberal feminism yang besar. So nampak half of it can be cultural. Then we have some radical, obviously, and postmodern very few. So that is why I buat listing macam tu. Did I answer you?
Yes.
Okay. Any question on that? Because why? Is you all macam mana? Which one is your favor? Because most of you are women kan?
Liberal and cultural kot sir.
Liberal and
Postmodernism. Postmodernism dengan radical macam too extreme lah sir.
So you boleh bahagi dua. Kalau macam ni, you boleh cut off you by saying that this one is another group, this one is one group, this one is another group. Okay, so the first group, liberal and cultural, is more soft. Ini is more stronger. Kan? So most of you jatuh dalam liberal dengan cultural lah.
Yes.
Saya prefer liberal.
Yeah. Because do you think that they are actually mengarut? Any one of you saying that this movement are mengarut?
Tak semua, sir.
No, I mean
Saya rasa radical tu
feminist.
macam
Yes, macam?
radical tu macam mengarut sikit kot sih. Macam sebab removing saya tak setuju dengan removing the idea of removing gender tags tu.
Yang postmodern
Postmodern.
Okay, good. Tapi feminism in general, macam mana you rasa? Do you look at them as, do they know what they are doing? You know, in general, do not put them as different groups. Feminism in general, you know, for some men,
Yes.
are they doing the right thing?
Yes.
For me, yes,
because-
sir. Upholding the rights of women.
The injustice, kan?
Mm.
So
Mm-mm.
generally, you know, if you ask men, do we have men in our group? Do they have anyone of a male gender other than me in the group? Can you respond? What do you think? So don't label that person as saying that he has every rights to make his point, you know. So janganlah dia kata, you ni jaga. Do you have anyone from the group that represent men or men? Tak ada saya kot. Siti, Nur, Nabila, Laila, Hakimi. Hakimi, are you here? Hakimi macam mana? So we have Anas is perempuan, which Anas mentioned. Afiq. Afiq. We have Afiq Rahmat, Afiq Farhan,
Yes,
Afiq Daud, Afika Daud, ini perempuan. Yeah, Afiq. So what, Afiq Rahmat, what do you think about this group, feminist group in general? Are they, you know, orang kata mengarut ni movement ni? What is your opinion?
the early feminist movement, I think, is very good. Is asking for equality of right, but nowadays feminist movement is asking for more. It's not asking
Yes.
for equality anymore. It's asking for privilege over the man, which is given an unequal right over an unequal right for the woman over the man. So I think
Yes.
the nowadays feminist movement is completely bullshit.
Okay, that's the way apa you see it. Well, okay, very orang kata ikhlas lah. You give your opinion. So what do you girls see it? Is it similar?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, bagi saya, sir,
Siapa ni?
macam
Wait.
apa, saya Hakimi, sir.
Hakim, okay, right.
Tak, sir, macam awal-awal tu gerakan tu dah betul, sir.
Betul.
Sebab gerakan tu memang nak melihat, macam satu gerakan yang nak membantu wanita setaraf dengan lelaki pada awal-awal tu. Sebab wanita, kita awal-awal tu macam hamba. Semua tu, tapi sekarang saya tengok gerakan tu feminis tu dah macam satu gerakan terlalu agresif, sir. Macam dah tak terkawal. Macam dia orang nak lebih-lebih sangat. So for me, macam betul cakap tu, macam melampau sangat. Ikhlas dari saya, sir.
No, it's okay because everyone have the right to point out their views, right? So, girls, what do you think? We have two men, and actually, I pun kadang-kadang would say I would agree with those two lah from the male perspective. What do you think about our what do you call it? Our stand, our opinion of the movement. Do you think that we all mengarut?
Hello, sir.
You rasa macam?
For me kan, I
Ah.
actually agree with the guys punya stance because I read this somewhere like a long time ago lah.
Yeah.
Initially the idea was correct lah to uphold rights for women, but
the movement itself evolve to a something yang macam melampau-lampau. And instead of calling it feminist, right now they call it feminazi. I read it somewhere lah, but lama dah. Macam
That was a
the
good one.
macam this one movement,
Yeah.
the free the nipple movement. Like, what's the point of doing that? Macam
Yeah.
it doesn't like uphold rights for women or anything. It's just like mengarut, absurd gila. Something like that lah.
The rest macam
Tapi
mana?
kan,
Yeah, okay, good.
bagi I macam personally lah,
Yeah.
I rasa wujudnya radical feminism and postmodern feminism ni sebab after the women have fights for their rights and the labor also cultural, tapi diorang punya rights still denied. Contohnya
Very
macam
good.
contohnya macam equal pay, lepas tu yang
Tak
macam pasal also
jadi-jadi.
discrimination at work is actually real.
Yes.
So macam benda semua tu, the feminist is actually macam fight for that
Frustrated.
right.
So they are
So
in
diorang
a
memanglah
frustrated punya stage kan. Because dah buat dah everything, but the man is not wanting to recognize. Kalau you pakai cultural dengan liberal, soft punya method, still the man
betul.
doesn't want to recognize kan. So injustice
Sebab
masih
tu
ada
diorang
kan.
macam move to a radical feminism.
Yes,
Sebab
yes,
diorang
yes.
rasa kalau by oppressing men's right, baru diorang akan bagi some of their right to the women. Macam tu.
Kita
Tapi
soft
macam
way you don't recognize? No,
I
tapi
recognize, tapi I rasa there's a need untuk ada more radical punya feminism juga untuk fight. Sebab kalau tak nanti kan diorang punya right tu tak macam mana? Takkan dapat juga.
takkan dapat juga.
Faham
Ya,
tak?
betul.
Maksudnya macam diorang punya right tu tak benar truly established sebab men akan sentiasa deny diorang punya right juga.
Dia macam lalat kan. They try to brush it aside. Tapi lama-lama kalau you kata lama-lama eventually dia akan recognize. It's susah.
Tapi macam sekarang ni ada juga lah certain groups yang akan diorang violate the radical punya feminism tu untuk asking for more something kan. Macam sekarang ni macam women's rally semua tu kan, diorang macam fight for something yang bukannya initially sepatutnya di fight under feminism. Macam tu lah, ada orang yang abuse juga.
If in between themselves ada yang feminism doesn't mean that they only see eye to eye. Kadang-kadang they don't, because they are so into their group, so they are fighting against other group and blaming other groups. Kata, your approach is wrong. The man is not going to be able to recognize us. Kalau you strong, if you're coming strong, people would have automatic reaction kan. Macam orang datang marah-marah, the chances is that you are going to counter that with marah. Jadi kalau you dengan lembut, orang cakap lembut. Tapi kalau setengah orang kata cakap lembut, tak dengar-dengar. Yeah, I do agree with that view, because if you don't do in a very drastic way, so the man is not be able to recognize. So some of you who disagree, obviously you say kalau you buat macam tu lagi lah dia orang tak recognize, So it is a very subjective. And coming back to some of the guys yang kata initially it was good. The movement is very focused, but now we are saying that some of them is beyond their focus. Questions?
I'm not sure if this falls under postmodern or what, but lately there's like a movement called trans feminism. And what I've read is like some radical feminists have opposed trans feminism. So like, what is your views on the trans feminism thing?
I have no idea. This is the first time I'm hearing trans feminism. This is so you are saying that there is another group that is coming up.
Because lately kan macam ada banyak issues pasal transgender kan. So I was curious lah. So, Google and then tengok there's actually like a trans feminism.
So tell me what they are aiming actually.
I think I'm not sure because kejap. They say that women should not be held down by traditional gender roles plays a major role in our feminism, and then they argue that people in general should not be confined by sex or gender norms. So maybe it's like similar to postmodern in a way. I'm not really sure as well.
So what do they want actually? They just want to have the, they want, oh, I see, okay, from the picture itself. Yeah, I can understand. Symbol of trans feminism. Can I share it with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You share. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. The symbol itself is kalau kita tengok symbol, the one that I put up, that is more of a female. Yeah? So kalau yang this, what they call it, the arrow with the plus, arrow with no plus is represent what? And then arrow yang bawah tu ada plus.
Itu bukan simbol woman man ke sir?
Yes. So the transgender ada situ. So yang arrow is man, the plus is actually woman. The new branch, which is the arrow and the plus. So we have lesbianism and homosexual lah. Nampak tak this so-called area? Yeah.
Nampak sir.
Area. So I think they are fighting for all gender. You know?
Contohnya yang
Yeah,
contohnya yang macam transgender nak pakai toilet perempuan tu ke?
Yes. I think that is one of the their promotion lah, what they are trying to promote. Yeah, because that is not woman ataupun feminist one particular gender sahaja. That is fighting on the basis of equal rights for every gender to utilize. So to recognize new gender, transgender, and they also have rights.
Also pasal yang tu sir, yang transgender dia orang participate dekat women's punya apa? Yang ada perempuan transgender tu berlari.
Olympic tu.
Yes. So more or less that is their promotion lah. So a new way of looking into things, but a small group of people. Okay, that you remember, you must remember juga benda movement ni doesn't mean that dia kecil, doesn't have an impact. It can suddenly becomes majority, you know, because how far group ni nak promote. If they are anxiously ataupun persistently, promoting, then this subject akan jadi hot topic. Dan bila jadi hot topic, people, the tendency is to, go to the current punya perception, current punya issue, the current macam mana, current movement lah, the in thing, the in thing is to liberate everyone, irrespective who they are. So I think, yeah. So kalau macam bilik air dekat mana-mana, so kita boleh pakai, semua orang boleh pakai lah, tak payah nak ada bilik air special untuk perempuan, special untuk lelaki, Some a lot of institution dekat US, dia tak ada bilik air lelaki perempuan, they remove the label yang kat depan tu. So what do you think about that?
I think so.
Ni dah dia macam tak follow the original ideas of feminism.
Dia lari daripada fokus kan? Yeah. So this is another focus, not feminist. So we cannot see them as feminism, but something else. They put it as feminism because they're not right on the movement itself, which actually did what they are trying to present is something else. They are talking about male, they are talking about transgender, they are talking also at feminist, but it's not right for them to write or better tag along with the wave. The wave yang feminism dah buat is very big, recognized all over the world. So this group of people, they just want to like take a free ride, you know, with the movement. And actually boleh nampak wave besar. Dulu tak ada wave tu. That we have the wave of feminism recognized by everyone. Then suddenly we have a small group of people who doesn't know what they are doing, but claiming that they are also feminism, the way I see it. So in exam, if you were to have a question regarding feminism, you must be able to, number one, obviously, to state the differences of all these feminist movement. You might be asking how many groups that you need to represent. So I already put as 4. So obviously there will be many others. Try to limit to the recognized one or the one that is popular. Once you are able to present their argument, what you need to do is to state your opinion towards the movement itself. In general, feminists in general, first you talk about feminists in general, yeah? And then you talk about each strength and weaknesses of each group. And by compare and contrasting each group to the subject, which is the subject of injustice, subject of biasness that exists between male and female. Boleh?
Boleh, sir.
Okay. I was told that you have classes after this. So now it's 9:59. I need to stop then. So thank you so much for coming to class and asking me questions and giving your opinion. However, if you have anything else that you want to clarify, please do not stop from asking it, be it in a group and individual. I have got lots of question being asked individually. Tak apa, it's okay because some of you are, you know, malu, you know, being feminist. You malu dengan you punya statement. So see you inshallah in the discussion. We will be looking at questions of exam of feminism later on in your tutorial. Okay, guys,
Okay,
thanks.
sir.
Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll
Thank
be
you, sir.
posting
Thank you, sir.
the recording.